Emmanuelle. We are very excited to learn more about your work and what you do and about yourself today. So let's get started about the interview. We have Emmanuelle Larroque from Social Builder today. Very honored to have you here today.
Thank you very much for your invitation, Miho, and I'm very glad to be part of this World in You project. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Well, could you start with how you started your organization and then what you do at Social Builder?
Yes, sure. So I started Social Builder 12 years ago. So Social Builder is a nonprofit. What we do is we design programs, free programs for women, and we also deploy those programs to help women be empowered and thrive in the digital economy. And the way we work is we help unemployed women to make a career shift, to transition into tech jobs, into digital jobs. And we, at the same time, we work with companies, with the government, and we also other nonprofits to accelerate this change. Because in France, there is only 26% of women in tech. And when we look at really engineering jobs and coding jobs, only 16% of women. So very, very, very few. And I started Social Builder, I would say, when I really wanted to make a difference and make sure that my professional life would be dedicated to contribute to gender equality. Let's just say that I've always been very sensitive about gender equality and in general by equality between people. And I wanted to make a difference in my life.
Thank you. I would love to learn more about where your passion for equality among people come from. Your how you grew up, or
yeah. So I think that most of the people that I know in working on impact or social goods really kind of grew a passion for certain subject when they were kids. What I can say is the way I have been raised by my parents, they always made sure that I kind of felt that I could do anything in the world and that could be whatever I wanted. And I think that very, very soon I kind of felt that this was not what kind of media and publicity, or what I felt even in school, that everything was possible and it was the same for girls and boys. So because we're not educated in the same way. And I feel that I pretty soon started to fight for my rights, and I was very vocal, and I was really trying hard to be heard as a girl, and it never left me. So I would say that my parents really planted a little seed in me very, very soon.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Were you born and grew up in Paris or the urban areas?
I actually was born in the suburbs of Paris, in an area that was not very, I would say, hype or developed. It's more like, working class, suburbs, not a lot of money. And I think that I was, my parents very, very soon showed me inequalities, what it meant to not be close to the nice jobs or not to have the best education, what it meant for your life. And I was very, I think, privileged to be in a family that made me very soon aware and sensitive about the different kinds of inequalities that as human beings we go through in life. And it made me very empathetic about, the different kinds of challenges that people could go through and the discrimination they can go through regarding, where they live, their cultural background, their social background. And for me, it was kind of a whole, but I still, in the way I work, I try to really embrace that we support women from very different backgrounds, and there are no barrier whatsoever, you know, in terms of age, in terms of education. Some women have very few, I would say, educational backgrounds. Some have, but we try to open up our programs to the most, saying that if you're unemployed, we know that there could be so many different factors that prevent you from accessing jobs in tech or transitioning into tech. So just let's open up.
Thank you. I know you went to a business school as well, and then I would love to learn how you decided to start Social Builder. When did you decide, and then why did you decide to focus on this women in digital inclusion?
Yes. So I was very lucky to have a good education. I was privileged to, you know, have a very good degree in management, and then I decided after working consulting in tech. So I was very, I would say, very soon exposed to a different the tech environment, which I loved, but I could see also the dynamics existing between men and women in this environment. And then I went back to school and studied sociology of organization, innovation, and gender. And after going from being the lead of an incubator and also working more on creating programs to help young people go into to study when it was difficult for them to do that for a social background, I decided that I really wanted to make a difference on the issue of gender equality, because this is what I'm passionate about. And I decided that very soon in my, I would say, in my trajectory. So I was 32, and at that time, you know, it's a little while ago, it was not, you know, the people who graduated from business school, they didn't make the same choice as me. And I was kind of like, it was a kind of at the same time kind of pioneer choice. Now there are a lot of young people who wanted to make a difference and decided that they're going to make a living and a difference at the same time. But at that time it was kind of a different choice. But what I feel today is that and it makes me really glad to see that the coming generation, you know, the upcoming generation really feels that their professional life should matter for others, and they make a difference for the world. They make a difference for the environment, for, you know, for whatever subject that we badly and cruelly need. But at that time it was a little different.
Yeah, I can totally see that, and I'm so glad to, that you made that choice. Thank you. Could you tell me a little bit more about the core programs or activities that you do at Social Builder?
So at Social Builder, we actually have a very large approach. What we do is we support women from A to Z. It's a 360-degree approach, a very integrated approach. And we try to first get women interested or passionate about tech, you know, trying to feel that it's something that they could really flourish and be part of. Then we help them get a good education, and we train them. Is it short training, either short training or long training, so that they can afterwards find job in the tech industry. So what we do is for each pillar, whether it is for exploring tech, whether it is for training or for, I would say, connecting to the ecosystem and finding jobs, we develop programs. Those programs are free. They are accessible to any unemployed woman. And in each program, they they are supported by, of course, trainers, but also coach, professional mentors, and a whole ecosystem of partner, other nonprofits specialized in supporting women, or organizations specialized on, tech, whatever tech issue that could be of a value to them. So we really try in a whole ecosystem, and we gather around us more than 300 partners to make sure that we can help women, whatever I would say their stage of maturity in the process of transitioning into tech. And so for the past 12 years, we have been supporting 80,000 women.
Thank you. We would love to understand more about your client or beneficiary, however you call it. So what kind of a typical unemployed women going through your program and then be successful?
So our value proposition for women is really to help them gain the right skills so that they can stay or re-enter the job market. Why is it important? It's because we know, because of the digital transformation of the world, everything now is impacted by digital, whether, it's for our communication, for learning, for finding a job, and all jobs are impacted. So what we wanted to make sure is that women will gain the skills to stay in the job market. So the women we target is unemployed women. This is our target. So they can be 18 up until 63 years old. I think it's the more senior women we have supported. All of them have decided to try to design a project, professional project, career related to tech, or to really, learn a new profession. Or they want also to gain digital skills to create a company. So that's another also, I would say, persona of women that we support. So I can say that the median age of the women we support is 37, because women transition a bit later in their professional life. 17% of them are solo mothers. They take care of kids by themselves. 30% of them have what we call their beneficiary of social aid. That means they are in a situation that it's a big challenge for them to support their family. In certain programs, we have 25% of them that are actually disabled. They have a stage recognition, and they need a specific care so that they can learn new skills. So we are, I would say 30% of them have a background of migration, whether it's his first, second, or third generation. So we really, I would say, embrace all the different, I think, kind of demographic that you can find in France. And this is what is really, I think, what I love about my jobs is we meet women from so different backgrounds. And what I can also share is that it takes them between 1 to 3 years to really make their project a reality. From the time that they're thinking about understanding, whether they should be a coder, whether they should be a project manager, whether they should be a data manager, and the day they really make it a reality to access those new jobs.
Thank you. So many questions popped up in my head. So, but starting with the basics. So, when you mentioned 3 pillars, starting with exploring interest in tech. So, what do you actually offer to those phases?
Okay, so for the explore parts, we have two ways of working. The first thing is we develop a bot, a chat bot. That there is a quiz that helps women better understand what they like to do, what they have already done. And according to their preferences, we push forward certain types of jobs. You know, if you are more into problem solving and you like to work on very specific, concrete things, then we will say, okay, look at coding jobs. If you're more into, you know, teamwork and you want to be more into, helping people find their ways, and you like the creativity, would be more like UX jobs, like more, you know, interface. So we're really putting a lot of effort to show that, you know, in tech and digital, there are more than 40 different kinds of jobs, you know, not jobs, but kinds of jobs. And we're trying to open up their views on the reality and the richness of the reality. You know, there are jobs for everyone. And then we're also trying to through the bots, we are showing them also job description, but not job description not job description that put forward tech. No, job description that put forward usage. You know, what will be the usage of this job? You know, how people are going to be working together in the company, and why this job is useful, and what will be the deliverables. You know, if you do this job, at the end, you will have, I don't know, an app on your mobile phone that will help you, you know, I don't know, have good times, leisure times, or that help you, you know, access health. Or so we try to put forward what will be the meaning of the jobs. And of course, we talk about, you know, the skills that will be required, but not only technical skills. We try to put forward also the other skills, the human skills, the communication skills, the leadership skills, so that, you know, there is a connection that is not only on, I would say, the technology, but that is also on the meaning of the job. And that's to make a whole difference. You know, when you don't come from the tech industry, it could be very challenging to feel that you could belong. It could be challenging to feel like you could understand and that you could make a difference. So I think if we want to attract girls and women in tech, we need to show them that they can have a real contribution, that they have ideas, and that they could make these ideas come true. This is what I think, and this is not, you know, to be mushy, you to be just, you know, I don't know, very simple-minded. No, this is why people go into certain jobs, because they feel that, you know, it makes sense to them. I want to go see the moon, or I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to be, I don't know, piloting spaceships. But, you know, my first intent is I want to reach the moon. So just connecting to the meaning of the job, it's very important. Then the other pillar is we're for the getting women know about, you know, exploring. We have we organize big events, so there are big days, and during those days, women can do three things. First of all, they hear about women who already transitioned. You know, they're explaining very basic, you know, I did that, and then I did that, and this is the way I financed it, and this is the way, you know, I organized my life to make it possible, and this is the way also I created the right environment for me to learn, and whether they learn with Social Builder or with someone else, it doesn't matter for us. And then the other thing is we have during those big events, so they can gather between 2,000 and 2,000 women. During those events, we have workshops, so women can experiment. You know, it could be I don't know, 3D printing. It could be, you know, Scratch, you know, those coding skills through the little software. It could be also learning about how to develop a web page, you know, more UX. So we have them do little projects during 1 hour, and at the end they can see what it looks like, and they can see they can do it. And the third thing, we work on their leadership skills. What I mean by leadership skills is that during other workshops, they are working on how to think about themselves in a new way. They are learning about, you know, communication skills, also to talk about their project, to talk about themselves, what they already have done and accomplished. So we're trying to show that they have a lot of things that they can put forward, because it could be very scary to feel that you have to go to see, a company, a recruiter, or to go see someone to enroll you in a training course, and you have to speak for yourself. You have to explain why it's interesting, even though there are a lot of things that you don't know. So we try to put them to feel that they have a lot of things to put forward, and they can trust their guts and also their project. So during those days, a lot of things are happening, because we plant the seed and we create also, connection with other digital schools. We create connection with companies. We create connection with also, I would say, the unemployment agencies and the other organizations that can help them on their project. I hope I'm not too long. So this is on the exploration part. On the training part, more like learning part. On the learning part, we offer programs from 1 week to 15 months. So during those programs, they can learn specific skills, or they can learn, to do a job. So during 15 months, they can learn, for example, to be coders for certain technologies. And during those 15 months, they are part-time in the company and part-time in our training center, so that they learn doing the job. And that's very important. And what also makes it successful to work with certain companies is because before entering the jobs, they have 3 months inside in our digital school, so that they can learn the basics, and they already have something to show for when they enter the company. Okay. This is for the learning part. And for the last part, which is more like the connected part, finding a job and be connected to the ecosystem, we have also specific workshops that we involve our partner company during those days. And the partner company, they already have diversity, inclusion, and equality programs, policies. And so they are, if they choose us, they already know that they are open and they will support women coming into jobs that are new for them. And they decide to put forward some job offer that they will, of course, there is a hiring process and there are interviews, but those companies, they are very much involved already with us. So, for example, during those days, upfront, we have mentors from those companies. So some employees, they support women during their training programs, so that they know how they will apply the skills. They know more about the culture of the organization, and they will be able to better sell their skills at the end of the program. So I would say during those days where there are those interviews process and companies get to know a little bit better the women of the programs, there are a lot of times that are not just interviews. There are a lot of times also to just share about this is what I would like to contribute to, and tell me more about your company, your values, your culture, what you put, so that the team I will enter feel good about that, and feel also that they will include me. So we try to create really human to human connection.
Thank you. I was very much impressed about your systemic and holistic approach, and even it's about digital, like a tech thing. It sounds like more about human and a more integrated a version of it. And I would love to understand. So, in order for this kind of systemic approach to work, you really have to engage your stakeholders and partners, I assume. And then what are the tips for the success, and what are the challenges in mobilizing all these different constituents and players?
I'm sorry, what is the question? I didn't get.
What are the challenges and also good practices in mobilizing these multiple stakeholders?
Okay, so this is really the key of our work, is multi-stakeholder approach. So I think the value we bring to the ecosystem is our ability to create bridges. We create bridges, and bridges are amazing infrastructure. Okay, so creating bridges means understanding where companies come from, what they need, what they can do and what they can't do, and at the same time understanding the potential, of course, the human potential of our beneficiaries, the women we support, but also everything they already know, and their energy and their motivation. And so giving them the opportunity to put all that into something that will make, that will bring a lot of value to companies and to themselves. So what I often say is that we're just creating, the thing to jump on. You know what I mean? It's like, yes. Yes, exactly. So this is what we do. It's very easy to find tech training programs. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to find jobs. It's very easy to find unemployed women. It's very complicated to make sure that all of them meet in the right way so that it creates the right cute. I don't know if I make myself clear. So to create an ecosystem that wants to work together, it's a lot of listening to what everybody needs. And also, we don't work with everybody. And I think that's very important, because we put forward some values and some ways of working. What we say is everybody gets involved in the long run. That means that company wants to work with us. They are ready to train their employees on gender equality. They are ready to train the women who join them, to support them in gaining the right skills. They open up also, and the way they are recruiting people, they change the way they're recruiting people. They open up their criteria. They don't hire only on their, I would say, they don't only hire people with engineering degrees or that have 20 years experience in tech. They have to open up to other, women coming from very different backgrounds, environmental studies, having supporting or work with kids during their whole life, and they want to switch into coding because they just love it. So they have to open up their minds. And in France, it's still a challenge. Mm-hmm. So we choose the people we work with. We ask them to really make changes and walk the talk. And for the women we're working with, we need to adapt really the pedagogy, the way we teach, so that it create the right environment for them to succeed. And what makes the difference is also the human experience around it, like having mentors that they can share their challenges, having coaches that can get them motivated and push forward and not give up during the program, because sometimes it's a big challenge. During 15 months you have to just make sure to I often say there are waves, so you have to jump over the wave and there will be some, and then for some of them it's a challenge to find the first job. So not to give up and to go back to their former jobs, it's a challenge. So it requires a lot of love.
Yeah, totally. When So that gives me to the next question, which is about like organizational and business model, because how the resource flows influences a lot about the power, like the dynamics, and then how you can convey and sustain your values across the system. So yeah, can you tell me a little bit about your business model and how
Sure.
the organization? Yeah.
Okay, so how do we pay for all this? For the explore part, it's a lot of companies who help them finance those big days that I was telling you about, or even Adabots. But there is also the government. The government also pay because in France, our government, we are an amazing country. They support reskilling and upskilling a lot because they know this is the key for employment, having a high rate of employment. So the government is financing that. For the training part, we have, I would say, two customers. We have, I would say, the government, who ask us to develop some trainings for unemployed people. And we also have companies who are trying to hire people for jobs intention. They don't find the right skills. And they see that we develop another pipeline of talent. And finally, for, I would say, the recruitment part, on that side, we have more like pro bono, companies offering access to employees who are paid to support the women and helping them, find jobs. And we also have the jobs offered by companies. This is a very important, I would say, resource. So this is our business model. But our business model today is really strongly rooted in, I would say, our public policy that is really supporting the skill development.
Thank you so much. If Miho-san has any questions, please jump in.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I was really impressed by, like your approach that like care about the authenticity of each individual, but also like, integrated approach, not just a tech teaching or training, but also like starting with the seed, right? Like, like find themselves, and then like, what's your leadership, what's your authenticity, and then like just the whole integrated program. That's wonderful. But I was just thinking like, how that possible, like personalized learning as well as like scalable, impact, like how can you do the both things?
We're developing a platform, which is the academy. I would say to facilitate human interaction and also to facilitating the delivery of the skills. What a platform won't never do, I think, is really creates this human-to-human experience that makes a whole difference. What I believe is that if we still exist, it's because we create an environment where people feel secure, supported, and we really rely on other human beings, the mentor, the coach, and of course our employees, to create the safety net for someone to reinvent themselves when they are going through a hard time. So what I believe is that if we want to succeed in embarking a human being into this new world that is shaping up right now very fast, we need to provide this security of connecting one another together. And I think, I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but with digital, we kind of thought that it will replace a lot of things. The only thing that it will never replace is the human-to-human connection and the differences makes in human life. I think we all know the stories of this teacher made such a difference in my life and really created in me this this belief that I could do this, or I met this person and this person made this difference. And we talk about role models, but those are only people talking with their heart to other people with, receiving this message. And what we should never lose in our, I think, our creating a learning environment, whatever it is this this connection of people who will help each other, find a meaning out of everything they learn. Because learning for learning, I think, won't really make a difference in someone's life, but learning for, building something in a team or building something that would be useful to other women, other human beings, this is what we're looking for. When we talk about artificial intelligence to women, they're like, yeah, okay. But when we say, with artificial intelligence, we can adapt the learning environment in kids so that they learn better. Oh, interesting. And we can adapt also the way we're going to be treating cancer. Oh, interesting. And so, digital would just be a co-pilot and will be the pilot of what we want to make out of it. Yes, we just need to make sure that women will play a game in this whole revolution. And this is what we are trying on our very, very, very small scale.
Thank you. Thank you. And let me allow one more question. So I think it was very important point that you said you don't work with everybody. You don't try to work with everybody, right? Like, and then I have a question that how did you find, or how do you find the like-minded people, or the people who are like right people to work with? Like, how did you approach your message? Or
yes, we've seen a shift post-COVID. Companies who were highly challenged with their business models understood that digital will be key for their success, for their, the continuing working internally, but also they kind of challenge themselves with their business model. And also they've seen that organizations investing in diversity, inclusion, and equality were kind of had better survival chances after COVID. So I think that it kind of opened up companies to, okay, now we need to look at integrating the human beings around us differently. So it kind of opened up opportunities for us to enter, like, this is only, we're not talking only about corporate social responsibility, we're talking about your core business. And that opened up discussion, like if you want to adapt better, we have been saying that for over maybe a decade, but if you want to adapt better, you need different people. And those people, you need a way to integrate those people, and that will be through opening up the way you are looking at them. So this is what I wanted to say first, is that there has been, companies shift a little bit in the way they were looking at task force. That was the first thing. The other thing we're looking also for, there is kind of a wave, a movement of organizations saying we have a purpose, purpose-driven organization. So of course we're going to see those organizations first, like, okay, you said you have a purpose, just come trying to make it a reality with us. So we've seen that also being a very good entry point. And the last thing that I could also share is that organizations are very pragmatic and also made of people. So if you connect with leaders that, raise a certain consciousness about, the fact that there are dynamics that have been making the lives of their girls, of their wives not fun, they will open up to your message saying you can do something in your company. So I think that we can either talk about helping organizations be more efficient. We can talk to organizations, helping them be good organization and meet their purpose. And we also can talk to human beings in organization who have a sensitivity to our I would say mission. And then on the 3 level, we find ways to work together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I guess I have 2 last questions. One is, so in 2019, you expanded into New York as well, I guess. And then what was the process? Why did you decide to expand into the US?
So the first intent in a country where people have to invest, to have a good education, and companies, tech companies are exploding, and really the dynamic is the job dynamic is so high. We said, okay, maybe we can bring something. We can bring a solution that will be efficient to companies and that will be efficient to people who wants to transition. And also, I think the policies and the discussion around gender equality was at that time I thought was quite mature. But to be honest with you, when we decided to, and we spent time opening up a chapter, what we realized is that there were intention, but there was still a lot of segregation in the workplace, and also there was not the infrastructure around women to help them work at a competitive level. What I mean by that is there is no daycare, there is no education, the education system is very I would say unequal. So some women, they have to be there at 3:60 p.m. to take care of their kids. So it's I think it's there are not the right conditions yet to create those advancements for women in tech. And I think also there are still a lot of stereotypes. There are stereotypes everywhere, but there are still a lot of stereotypes in the job in tech, and we've seen that on the West Coast. A lot of startups, when they grew, they didn't maintain really their diversity, inclusion, and equality policies. There have been, lots of headlines in newspaper pointing out that some of, the women founder of companies have been harassed by the finance sector. So I think it's not. I was a little surprised to see that there was a lot of work to be done, just to on the foundation, the biases and the stereotype that there are on women in the job market. But what we've seen also is that post-COVID, companies also shut down all the diversity and inclusion programs, really outreach, employee development. So it's I think the shock in the US, the economic shock are very strong. And so, it's like the roller coaster. You put something in place and then it's destroyed. Then you put something in place. What I've seen in Europe, as there are a lot of safety nets, social safety net, it's a little bit more, I would say, constant, a little bit more. It can really grow on the longer duration. I don't know if I make myself clear.
Yeah, I can see that. Thank you for sharing that. Very good learning. My last question is, where do you see in the future, like 10 years, 20 years from now, where do you want to go?
So it has always been our purpose to to support women make the most of this digital transition everywhere in the world, everywhere that we could bring our model, ecosystem building around program for women. So what we're doing right now is we're building a foundation with the Academy, which is our platform to help disseminate our programs in different countries. And this is, I would say, the ground for supporting also local effort and policies to advance women in the economic world. And so it's kind of a big project, but it has to be done, I think, locally, because of course every country has their own dynamics, and it has to be done in a way that is always, the same, partnership building, making sure that it has synergies and it can bring value. So we hope that will help the advancement and of women in STEM, skills and capacity building for women, and also opening up the innovation and tech world so that women can really have a great contribution to the future of our products and the way we build a society.
Oh, thank you so much. I really hope, I'm really hoping to see some of your programs or components in Japan too. Yeah. One last question. So, have you been this like a systems, like a approach minded from the beginning, or you kind of develop your approach as you have come?
We have always thought that to make a very long-term change, we needed to work on both sides of the coin, creating the right environment for women to succeed, and at the same time supporting women empowerment. So that means that the environment is as important as the women leadership. So that has been at the core. And what also has been at the core, as we can do nothing alone, and we will never invent the right ways of working alone. So it has always been based on partnership building and a multi-stakeholder approach. So that was at the core. So what changed is the how. And I think that when we work on innovative approach, because if we want to solve all the issues that we have to solve, we need to work on innovation all the time and do small step and reinvent and just adapt. And so the how is very important. Execution is key, but it can change all the way, and that's fine. Programs may change, the vision is not.
Thank you so much. I'm so much enjoy this conversation and hoping to keep in touch. And then, thank you so much for today.
Thank you for your invitation, and I hope to reciprocate very soon on how you also work for women's condition, women empowerment. Thank you for your invitation.